Let's take another quick look at the lineup for today's grid then. Rubens Barrichello on pole position, the 4th of his career. Michael Schumacher, winner here for the last 2 years in a row. Ralf Schumacher, his best qualifying performance here in Australia. David Coulthard, a former winner around this circuit, and his new teammate Kimi Räikkönen lining up 5th. Juan Pablo Montoya starting his 2nd season in Formula 1. Jarno Trulli for Renault in 7th, and Giancarlo Fisichella. They've swapped teams, those two. They're both on the 4th row. Ahead of Felipe Massa and Nick Heidfeld driving for Sauber. Another strong performance from the Swiss Sauber team. And then behind those two, we could see the cars of Button and Olivier Panis. Then it's Jacques Villeneuve, Mika Salo for Toyota, Heinz-Harald Frentzen in the Arrows, Alan McNish in the 2nd Toyota, Enrique Bernaldi and Mark Webber, the Australian, making his debut this weekend. Eddie Irvine back in 19th place ahead of teammate Pedro de la Rosa. Alex Young and Takuma Sato bringing up the rear. You think he might have been angry? He was angry yesterday when they sent him out in qualifying when it was raining.
Flag.
Yes, we've got somebody who's got a problem down there, the midsection of the grid, and we'll try and take a look and see who that is. We'll spot that in just a moment.
I think it's one of the Arrows. It might be Frentzen, in fact.
Wait till all the cars go.
It is Heinz-Harald Frentzen in the Arrows. He'll have to wait until the entire field goes past, and also Eddie Irvine slow away as well.
Okay,
Frentzen, Bernaldi, I beg your pardon.
To the T-car.
In fact, yes, we could hear them calling Heinz-Harald to get out of that car and get into the spare car. And he'll have to start that from the pit lane, obviously, as they rush to try and get these cars out of the way of the field, which is gradually making its way around this Albert Park circuit. Still listening up on their radio, try and catch what's going on down there as they scrabble to get Frentzen into the spare car to start from the pit lane. Now, the Ferraris are in position. Rubens Barrichello, the Brazilian, did not win a race throughout 2001, despite being in the car that everybody said was the car of the season. Can he make amends for that here today? Ross Brawn, the master tactician, watching as we get ready for the start of this first Grand Prix of 2002. We gather that Montoya's problem was a flat battery. That's what the panic at Williams was all about. The panic at Arrows, no doubt for a different reason. Here it comes then. All of that winter testing is behind them. Now is when we truly find out how they are going to deal with 2002. The Australian Grand Prix is underway, and it's a good start from the 2nd row with Ralf Schumacher trying to squeeze through David Coulthard, and contact! Ralf Schumacher in the air and into the gravel trap, and an Axel and into the tyre barrier as well, and Ralf Schumacher cars all over the place. Saubers, Jordans, there's a Toyota in the middle of that, a BAR, and it is a disastrous start to the Australian Grand Prix.
Ben, I hope I didn't see this, but I just suspected that not what was going on at the front, but what was going on at the back. This is going to be...
Okay, let's get the T-car ready for Giancarlo.
It's going to be a T-car out. We'll see the safety car out. It's going to be... has to be a restart. You cannot continue the circuit in this condition. Yellow flags certainly are out, localised yellow flags. Ralf Schumacher was challenging Rubens Barrichello. Barrichello cut from left to right, and then, of course, we saw what happened for the 2nd race in succession here in Australia. Ralf Schumacher has been involved in a major accident. It occurred here at turn 1. Last year it was turn 3.
Well, it was David Coulthard who made a brilliant start from the 2nd row of the grid. Ralf also made a good start, but it's Coulthard who got in front. And as the cars make their way around, of course, they are taking it easy now. But, well, problems.
Look at that.
So many drivers. That is remarkable. And looking on our timing and scoring system here, all the cars from 12th place onwards are stopped on the track. 11 cars are running at this one. In fact, Raikkonen's just got going again, so Raikkonen's running. 12 cars are running.
You've got Barrichello, Ralf Schumacher, Fisichella, Massa, Heidfeld, Button, Panis and McNish. They were all involved in this incident.
Now let's take a look here, John, at what happened.
But watch Barrichello, and Ralf Schumacher goes between the two Ferraris. He out-accelerates his brother. Barrichello goes to the middle, then more to the right, then Ralf cuts back, of course. Rubens brakes. Look at, unbelievable. Ralf Schumacher was so fortunate, and he found the part of the safety runoff area with the most space. Now watch again. Schumacher goes one way, then Barrichello the other way, cuts back. Barrichello brakes, Ralph outbrakes himself basically. Ralph missed his braking point.
Yeah, it does look that way. He went in without braking as Barrichello braked and just ran into the back of him. And look at the carnage behind as cars just all over the place. Felipe Massa, the car nearest to our camera here, in the middle. Well, it's just you can't see for the smoke. One or two the Jaguars managed to sneak round.
Yes, they did. Jaguars, but drive shafts, every lubrication you can imagine on the track. And look, everybody running back now to get to those single spare cars.
Well, what a dramatic start to the season. Fisichella there running back. Olivier Panis as well. It's turned into a running race rather than a Grand Prix for the moment, as everybody sprints back to get into their spare cars. But the safety car leads David Coulthard around. The laps are ticking away here at the moment, and it's Coulthard who is race leader.
Indeed it is, and it's Jarno Trulli who's in second place. I mean, really, I'm just sitting here thinking about what occurred. I could understand that happening midfield, but between two guys on the front two rows, that I have to say is just outrageous. Raikkonen, I'm sure, is the one that's going to come in for McLaren. He's saying, I didn't do anything wrong.
So here we go then, after 4 laps of the safety car. David Coulthard brings them through the last corner, building up to speed, and the race is well and truly underway now, with Coulthard leading for McLaren Mercedes, Jarno Trulli in second place for Renault, Montoya just locking a brake into turn 1 and looking aggressive immediately. Michael Schumacher in 4th, then the 2 Jaguars coming through, and we have lost so many cars from this race already. Let me just tell you who's out. It's Barrichello, Ralf Schumacher, Fisichella, Felipe Massa. Oh, and look at this.
Montoya tried to pass down the inside into turn 6. That was trying to get past Trulli. He's allowed, or I beg your pardon, turn 3, and he's allowed in doing so Michael Schumacher to take away 3rd place. I mean, Juan Montoya to take a punt down the inside into turn 3 was a huge risk.
A big risk. He is a racer, but that was perhaps not the wisest move at this point in the race, and it's allowing David Coulthard to do exactly what he wants to do and pull away from Jarno Trulli. Now Michael Schumacher will attack Trulli and try and move up into second. He will not want to let David Coulthard have free air for long, and he will be trying to get past the blue and yellow Renault of the Italian.
Now, Ben, we have seen in practice and in qualifying that the Ferrari's top speed is only about 306 k's per hour on the quickest part of the circuit. In fact, Jarno Trulli was marginally quicker.
Trulli just covering the inside a little bit there into the Ascari corner, but Schumacher wasn't able to get quite close enough. Look at that, the speed through the right-hander. The Ferrari looking so fast, but this is where he's got to set up a possible overtaking manoeuvre.
Yes, but of course the Renault has got straight line speed. Michael's got corner speed, he's got momentum off the corner, but look, nothing in acceleration. Now he's not going to be able to do anything from here on down into the corner. It's very risky to have a look down the inside, particularly somebody who's being very racy like Jarno Trulli. Yeah,
and a late break there from Michael Schumacher actually allowed Trulli to pull away slightly. So this is Coulthard's opportunity to make a break, and it's already 3 seconds. 3 seconds advantage for David Coulthard over this battle for second. Let's take a look at what Montoya was up to. Tried to go down the outside a little bit and just made a mistake.
It wasn't even trying to pass, he just got on the dirty part of the track, trying to place himself in such a way that he could get a run at Trulli at one of the later sections of the circuit. He just made a misjudgment and he got caught by what is still an offline track that's very, very green.
So the battle for second place between Jarno Trulli, the Italian, who's never won a Grand Prix, made his debut back here at Melbourne back in 1997.
This is where Michael Schumacher's got to start his work. He's got to get himself into position sufficiently close to Trulli coming through here that he can really get on the throttle and drive that Ferrari out of turn 12, pick up such slipstream as there is and put himself in a position to dive down the inside, but Trulli's going to cover it.
Yes, it's not close enough once again, and Trulli, you can see he's driving the wheels off that Renault to stay in front of Schumacher. You can see the car twitching around. Look at the speed differential through the right-hander there at turn 14. But unless Michael can find a good exit,
he's got a good chance, because Trulli didn't do a good exit on 15. Michael's got the run of 16. He's got the horsepower. He might take a chance. Trulli will defend, but just watch Schumacher. Here he comes. Can he get down the inside? Yes, 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 yes.
Oh, I thought there was going to be contact there, but they managed to sort it out. But look at this. It's now put Michael under attack from Montoya because Michael Schumacher lost ground. Oh, and Trulli's locking up. Montoya taking that wider line, but Michael, oh, and again he makes the mistake there.
Well, he doesn't learn the first time, and he certainly didn't learn the second time. Montoya got the momentum back up while this battle for second place is going on, and yet again he tried to take that wide line to give him position so that when he comes through 4 out of 5 and into turn 6 he could be in position to challenge. Here's the view head on. Schumacher thinking, will I, oh no, he just cuts me off. But good motor racing, Formula 1. And Michael Schumacher not close enough and this time to try and take a dive down the inside. He's going to have to pressure Trulli, particularly through 4. Oh, Trulli's lost it. Trulli spun. Michael's through. It's all over for Jarno Trulli. The back of the car's damaged. Now Montoya comes down once again looking for that outside line. Can he wait? Can he be patient?
Wow, what an amazing race we're watching in the early stages. Trulli's car.
Safety car's got to come out, I'm sure.
Yeah, surely we'll see the safety car coming out. Oh, Montoya! How much wider do you want to go? He was almost on the grass there, completely with that car, but he managed to hold it together. Now, Trulli's car on the back of the transporter there being moved out of the way, so it shouldn't be too long before we see the safety car making its way back into the pits. There's a little bit of clearing up perhaps still to be done there, but Trulli's race all done. I think, as you said, John, it was certainly a case of him hanging on as much as possible, and in the end the car perhaps wasn't capable of it. Safety car will be coming in on this lap.
Well, just been picking up on Rubens Barrichello, and one thing he's saying is he thought the decision not to stop the race was a mistake. He thought there was too much bits and pieces of cars around there, but clearly he's speaking from a moment of wanting to get into the spare car. But also he was saying that he thought that he actually braked marginally later than he'd expect, and that Ralph just completely misjudged.
Oh, Coulthard's gone off! Coulthard's gone off, and the restart! Schumacher takes the lead. Montoya goes past him. Now that is interesting. They've gone past before they get to the line and all that. I wonder how that one's going to work out.
Montoya!
Montoya attacking to the outside.
Go past. He's passed him under brakes. Can he get round the corner? He did. What an unbelievable overtake by the Colombian Montoya. I mean, stuck it on Michael Schumacher big time.
Wow, what a restart. Coulthard off on the grass. Montoya takes Schumacher, and now these two are at battle once again. And the Michelin tyre certainly working well under those conditions as Montoya gets past Michael Schumacher, gets through the first 2 corners, and now is going to try and pull away from the Ferrari.
And what of David Coulthard? He's stuck behind the 2 Jaguars. Let's look again and see. Coming into turn 15, he locks up that inside front wheel. Suddenly he can't slow the car down. I don't believe, David Coulthard, you've got the greatest chance of your career to win a Grand Prix here in Australia, and you blow it like that.
Oh, that is such a disappointment. He's still in the race, but look, he's behind his teammate now, Kimi Räikkönen. He's dropped to 5th position. Irvine up into 3rd place in the Jag. He's not going to be able to live for the pace of these lead 2. We know that Jaguar has not got the performance at the moment, but he is in 3rd place, and Irvine will desperately try and hold on to that. What a result that would be if they can hold on. Long way to go in this race. Only the 11 laps been completed so far, and what drama we've seen. And we've got the battle that everyone's been talking about on the lead up to this season, Montoya versus Michael Schumacher. Those Ferrari guys look very calm, don't they? I don't know quite how they can feel that calm with this going on up front. Montoya with just a fractional advantage over Michael Schumacher. Kimi Räikkönen joining in on the party, and David Coulthard's not that far behind himself. He's another 5 seconds back, so he's still got plenty of work to do, but he is going very quickly.
Back to the final segment of the circuit again. Schumacher quicker through turn 13 into 14 hole station, now positioning himself. He doesn't want to overrun Montoya. He wants to be able to pick up the throttle, drive the car through 15, and also maintain that momentum through 16 so that he can get onto the rear of the car, and therefore as they come down into turn one at the end of the pit straight to ensure that he's got a chance to pass. He's closing, but again Montoya defends down the inside. Michael can do nothing this time again.
But again, Montoya loses speed in the middle part, and here comes Michael. Michael gets back into Montoya, and Schumacher retakes the lead. A round of applause from the Ferrari mechanics. But these two guys are really racing. This is what motor racing's about, wheel to wheel, giving each other just enough room, making tiny mistakes, trying to take advantage, and Schumacher and Montoya, this is what it's all about.
Well, that is total brilliance from Michael Schumacher. He knew that he forced Montoya into turn one to brake late, to not then have the ideal entry to the corner. He's probably off the throttle too long. Michael cut back to the right and just drove around him with about another 5 or 6 miles an hour advantage. Now Raikkonen's going to give a lot of heat to Juan Pablo Montoya.
Yeah, but look at Michael. He's really beginning to pull away. He's definitely got the speed advantage here. And now that he's managed to get past, he is flying as he begins to pull out.
So Montoya on the brakes very late. Can't get the car slowed down, has to straighten it up. Michael sees that, reads it. He just pulls over to the right and just drives around the outside. Thank you, Juan Pablo. I thought you were smarter than you are.
Well, look at that.
Not with that one.
Well, that was a bit of a moment. Let's just watch him through these final couple of turns on the lap. Bit smoother through the left-hander, but definitely lost a bit of ground through that previous corner.
Yes, he did. It's just trying to look at the tyres to see if there's any sign of that feathering you get on the tyre surface, the tread, where it starts to roll across the tyre. Something that's desperately obvious about it. You can't see any change. Sometimes you see a change of colour. Coulthard off again. David Coulthard. I tell you, you're going to get snapped legs and sent to bed with any tea tonight for what you're doing today.
Same corner as well, John. It's that turn 15. It is not working out for him. Yesterday in qualifying, he encountered Jacques Villeneuve there and got off the track and spun and touched the wall. Now, what did he do this time?
Well, he just did the same thing effectively, but without locking up the inside brake. I mean, what is going on? I mean, I would love to see David Coulthard and Ron Dennis after this race.
Well, we'll have to find out, perhaps. I mean, we could always, perhaps there is a problem with the braking on that car. Perhaps he is suffering some sort of brake balance.
He's got a problem, certainly. You can see he's suddenly slowed right down. Now, whether that's the cause of the problems, maybe there's something in the gear shift that's causing him to overrun the corner. It could well be that the downshifts that we've seen Sato have a problem with on the Jordan on Saturday. Maybe there's something similar in the gearbox of Coulthard's. Maybe I'm being a bit too harsh and unkind on David Coulthard at this point.
Well, maybe we'll find out soon. It does look, though, as though
he's going into the pits at that speed. His day's over, I reckon.
It's all over for David Coulthard. That's a great disappointment. He looked so well placed after that initial accident. He was out in front. He pulled away dramatically from those behind. He'd opened up a 6.6 second advantage at one point. Then the safety car came out, and it was on the restart after the safety car that he went off. He locked a brake as he began to build up speed, and maybe there was some problem with the car developing there already. Then he was able to put in some very quick laps as he caught up, but something has gone seriously wrong, and Eddie Irvine just trying to sneak through now with Mika Salo in the Toyota behind.
Yes, Mika Salo is a lap down. He's running in 9th place, but Eddie Irvine is now up into 4th place. I mean, Eddie Irvine won the Grand Prix here in 1999 in a car that was a winning car, but suddenly from 19th in the grid to 4th, even Eddie, in his most optimistic frame of mind, couldn't have believed this.
On board with Kimi Raikkonen now on the bottom part of the circuit through the right-hander at turn 5 beneath the trees, and then up towards turn 6 and past the marina here through the quick left-hander. This is a pretty fast right-hander, Lauda corner, which builds up the speed as they approach the right-left. It's a chicane in many ways. Second gear through the first part, about 60 miles an hour, building up, and they're getting up to about 190 miles an hour here. Oh!
Jacques Villeneuve has gone off. A big shunt for Jacques Villeneuve. That's in turn 11, just before you swing back to turn 12. Jacques Villeneuve, heavy shunt, front and rear of the car. Certainly the wings are off the car. The wheels are all attached. That's still a great sign. The double tethers that have been attached to the cars this year, they've been increased in strength. Villeneuve steps out of the car. He will be disappointed. Easy peasy points for BAR and their former team boss Craig Pollock. His face, we've seen that look on his face on many occasions over the last 3 years. How did he get there from turn 11? Well, we see the car spinning, but we don't really get to see if the wing was attached or not.
I don't think it was. I think that the rear wing was already off the car. I think perhaps it did come off.
Well, it was a repeat of what happened here in the maiden debut of the BAR team, virtually at the same part of track. Alex Young, again you see the McLaren just seemingly being pushed forward. Now, whether that's a throttle problem or whether it's a gear change problem, we'll only know after the race. The yellow flags are out as we wait to see one of the two Minardis make their pit stop.
Yeah, they are both running. They're one of the few teams that have got both their cars still running. You can see there at turn number 3 as well, or turn 4 really, that David has come to a stop. Alex Young, though, and Mark Webber still both running for Minardi. In fact, they're both in possible point-scoring positions.
You'd have thought David could have pulled the car off rather than doing that. I mean, having the track marshals go out on track, it is a yellow flag zone, so the car now getting pushed to safety. I suppose possibly with so few cars on the track, it maybe mightn't have been such a big issue, but I hate seeing a car static on a racetrack when there's an active circuit in use.
36 laps have been completed then, and here comes Michael Schumacher. He'll just about to be going past the stricken McLaren of David Coulthard, and there it is, just to the left from that onboard camera. Irvine comes through safely as well, but it is all over for the Scotsman, and that is a great shame.
And David is putting the steering wheel back on. That is also a finable offence if you don't do so. But now the Williams team getting into the pit lane as we see Mark Webber come in for his one and only stop of the day.
Well, let's hope that they get this under control. Mark's certainly doing a good job of stopping it in the right place. There is a little bit of a delay though here, John. Something has gone wrong. I think it's, well, I can't quite see what the problem is. I think it's with the fuel flap or something like that. A very strange looking problem. Everyone looking very concerned, trying to sort it out. The fuel is going on board now, I think. They've got it cleanly done, and eventually Mark's able to get away, is he? Yes, he is. Oh dear, that was not what he needed at all. And poor Mark Webber losing a huge amount of time in the pit lane.
And in the pit lane now is also Jacques Villeneuve. He's been talking to the reporters and did confirm, Ben, as you suspected correctly, that there was a rear wing failure. The wing came off. That threw Jacques Villeneuve into that spin and harmlessly came to a halt. And well, Jack takes it very much in his stride. He's been there before, hasn't he?
He has been there before, but it shouldn't happen. Somebody coming into the pits there.
But Ben, just while we're talking, Raikkonen has done the quickest time. Juan Pablo Montoya, but Raikkonen suddenly is the quickest lap of the day. He won 28.541. Suddenly, somebody's knocked him on the head and said, "Sunshine, wake up! You've got a job to do."
Now Montoya got very sideways coming into the pits in his anxiety to be as quick as possible. A good stop, 10.1 seconds, and Montoya's on his way.
Fresh tyres, enough fuel for race distance. Remember to stay to the right of that. Don't cross that line, because that'll be again an offence. But I don't know what's Kimi Raikkonen suddenly done.
So 84 litres put in and fueled for 20 laps. Well, that should give him just the right amount of fuel to get to the end of this 58-lap event. And they'll be keeping a close eye on that fuel consumption. It's Ferrari that we'll be watching now. 28.541, as you said, for Kimi Raikkonen. Great lap from the McLaren driver.
But why? Why suddenly do a lap like that as Michael Schumacher now makes his one and only, oops, I was going to say trip onto the grass, trip into the pit lane. Michael practices this all the time. He maximises, and the McLaren also now laying out for Kimi Raikkonen. But Michael Schumacher, through practice particularly, maximises every fraction of a second on the entry into a circuit, into the pit lane. You can't do anything until you get to the pit lane exit before you get back on the throttle. 10.1 seconds was the time for Montoya. Let's see Ferrari, notoriously quick in the pit lane.
And under no pressure, really, are they? Away they go, 10.5 seconds.
Well, 4/10 doesn't really matter. Kimi Raikkonen now makes his way down. Somebody's going to say someday that is not Kimi Raikkonen. So like Mika Häkkinen.
It is so like Mika Häkkinen. It is amazing to watch the transformation, the results so far.
From the front brakes, blue smoke coming off the front brakes. 10.3, well, 10.6. There's slight hesitation just as the car came off the jacks. Eddie Irvine makes his way out as well.
Now, where is Montoya? There is Montoya, and this could be a change, but Montoya with tyres warmed up, and Raikkonen's gone wide.
He's lost it.
Oh dear, he was aware, I'm sure, that Montoya was coming.
He was aware, and I was aware as well, and I knew that he was on the wrong part of the track to try and take the corner at the speed he was carrying. The inside of the track, of course, still dirty and green. Montoya on the right-hand side on the left-hand side of the track, on the racing line, and he had the advantage. Kimi made a fundamental error. He'll learn. I don't think you'll see him make that one again in the future.
But that's all.
Ooh, very wide on the exit of 5. Hey, look, watch and see what happens. He's got too much speed. The back end under braking slips away. He's got no choice but to go across the grass, and he just thinks, oh, I had second place and I've just blown it.
I don't think he really had it though. He didn't have quite enough of an edge over Montoya. Even if he'd made it through 1 and 2, I think the momentum would have carried Montoya.
Believe me, the Iceman would have made life difficult for Juan Pablo Montoya. Mark Webber.
No, this is Alex Young, isn't it? His teammate now coming into the pits, the Malaysian driver. And, well, he's doing a good job so far. He finished 1 of the 3 races he entered last year. That was down in 16th. Ooh, Alex.
Libertad.
Sounded like he wasn't in first gear getting away there.
Okay, you P6.
Unbelievable. Both Minardis in the points, 5th and 6th. If they retain those 2 positions, they'll walk away from here with 3 points.
3 points, and how valuable is that, John, in terms of, we never know how all the finances of Formula One work in detail, but that's going to be very valuable indeed to a small team.
I guarantee you one thing, Paul Stoddard on the pit lane is working it out right now.
I'm sure he is. He's got his calculator down there, and it'll make a huge difference to a small team like that to score points at the start of the season. But here's the man who we've got so used to scoring maximum points time after time after time. 53 wins to his credit already, breaking records every season now, and looking to start this season in the best possible way.
Montoya putting another lap on Mika Salo behind Mark Webber, so that battle between Webber, Salo currently in 7th place, he's 2 laps down, Webber in 5th place, 1 lap down.
Gustav Brunner watching nervously from the pits to see whether his baby, his design, is going to be able to get past the Minardi. Well, he's going to have to do it pretty soon, and it looks as though that opportunity could come after this. Now, John, you were talking about the next corner coming up. Is a possible overtaking place?
Yes, I mean, he couldn't get inside him into turn 11. It's not a possible place to pass. He's not close enough here coming into turn 13. All he can do is position himself. It's too risky into 14. He's having a look. He's just distracting Mark Webber. Prepare to do your overtake as you exit out of 16, going across the start-finish line for 1 more lap into turn 1. But this will be the last lap.
Coming around.
Penultimate lap, I should say.
Coming around to complete lap number 57, these two. Across the line they go, and here comes Mika Salo. Is he going to make a move? No, he's not. Not into turn number 1.
Next chance is turn 3. Good exit from both drivers, both doing a great job. Salo, I think, has got the slight momentum, but again, the distance between the corner and where they are is so short. Salo doing what Montoya did, take the very wide line and loses it.
Oh, no!
Don't believe it.
He spun it, and has he got the engine running? Yes, he has, but... Oh, he's got it going, but he's lost any chance of taking that 5th position.
And the team are on the phones of Mika Salo said, take it easy. Australia's going ballistic. The 5th place, Mark Webber's fought and defended. Let's look again and see what happens. Down into the corner, Mika Salo, well, you know, what can you say? At least the guy had a go.
He did have a go, but he just got onto the slippery stuff a little wide, little offline, and it just shows you how much on the limit these guys are.
Again, this is what Montoya was doing. He was staying very out far to the left, turns in, but that's green, Mika. Montoya found that out twice. You needed to find it out once to, well, rob you, let's say, of that 5th place. But what a well-deserved drive. Mark Webber's done a stunning job here this afternoon for his team, for Australia, and for himself.
But what about this man? Michael Schumacher is heading around to take victory in Australia in the first round of the Formula One World Championship. He's picking up from where he left off at the end of last season. In Japan, at Suzuka, he took the victory from pole position. Well, he didn't take pole position here in Australia, but he is going to take those all-important 10 maximum points, and the Ferrari fans are on their feet through the stands as Michael Schumacher comes through to take the first victory of 2002. Well, there is the delight for the German, and that 5th world title could not be started on a better foot than by taking the first win of the season. Here comes Montoya.
Well, Montoya certainly gave us some entertaining racing this afternoon, and you know, when that car, the tyres get together, Michael Schumacher is going to have a massive fight on his hand for that title. 6 points to Montoya, 4 points to Kimi Räikkönen in his first drive for McLaren Mercedes-Benz. What a great result for the young Finn, and he can only get better and better, and where will it ever stop?
The 3 top teams of Formula One finishing in the top 3 places here, and that's good in terms of making things wide open as we go towards just the second round of the championship in a couple of weeks' time in Malaysia. Michael Schumacher starting perfectly, and Mark Webber, what a dream debut. Just get through the last few corners, Mark. I know the fans are waving, there must be so many distractions. Just focus on these last few corners to make an historic debut performance.
Well, when Mark Webber steps out of this car, I hope he hasn't got a girlfriend, because every woman in Australia will want to have a bit of Mark Webber tonight.
Here he comes through the last 2 corners now, turns 15 and 16, and what a cheer, what a reception Webber is receiving here. The efforts of Paul Stoddart with the tiny Minardi team brought to fruition on his debut by the 25-year-old Australian, who's raced in the UK, raced in Europe over the last few years, fought his way into Formula One.
Well done, everybody. Fantastic job. Well done.
Oh, that is just a dream to Mark Webber. Michael Schumacher might be the winner of today's race, but there is nobody happier than Mark Webber in 5th.
Well, there are 3 drivers today and 3 teams who've really got a fantastic result. Jaguar, Minardi and Toyota. No one would have expected anything like this. The top 3, well, nothing big surprise in that. But what a great day for the teams that were at the back end of the grid. And, well, it's a bonus, and they will remember this day long into this season.
There he is, Michael Schumacher, enjoying this victory lap, that fist still held aloft. And, well, we've seen that so often. Try and listen in on the radio if we can.
Well, we were trying to get a ship to shore to Michael Schumacher in the Ferrari pit, but a little bit of interference precluding that. But Michael, I promise you, look at the I mean, there are more Italians here in Melbourne than I think there are in Milan, Turin or Rome.
A replay of Michael Schumacher crossing the line and taking the win here in Melbourne. The 2001 car came good for them, didn't it, John? What a great decision it was for Ferrari.
It was a very good decision, a very positive decision, and believe me, people like Ross Brawn and Michael Schumacher and other principal team members do not make those decisions lightly. They did something which was a certain calculated risk, but they knew pretty much that they had a car that was very, very competitive, be it last year's car with a few bits and pieces added into it and improved from this year's car.
And that just makes the other teams surely quake in their boots to see how fast Ferrari are with their old car. Just how fast will they be with the new car? Always an issue with getting the new car set up and reliability, but you have to say Ferrari are going to be tough to beat. But here's Montoya. He couldn't win today, but he did what he had to do. That's bring it home in 2nd place. He couldn't match the Ferrari, but he's got 6 points. And Kimi Räikkönen, his best ever Grand Prix finish in 3rd place here today.
And I tell you, those 2, Räikkönen and Montoya, are going to entertain us something this season. The pair of them are out-and-out racers. They're prepared to take risks, do things that sometimes when you get a bit older in your career you're not quite prepared to do. And there Michael decides just to do a little bit of a burnout, a couple of donuts, drives the car into the Parc Fermé, and watch his face, watch how he leaps out of the car. He is absolutely over the moon.
A great win for Michael Schumacher, and I want to see how the relationship is between him and Montoya. They would have enjoyed that race. It was a tough one, but they also know that each one will be the other's great rival throughout this season.
And Herbie Blash, Deputy Race Director for the FIA, waiting to take Michael up to the press conference, and Michael turns round and salutes the support he's had here throughout the weekend.
Mark Webber's still enjoying himself out on track on this slowing down lap. He's relishing it, going as slowly as possible so that he can soak it all up.
Well, your first Grand Prix, finish 5th, 2 points in the World Championship. I mean, it doesn't get any better.
Giving little burnouts as he comes down into the pits. And the flags are waving, and what a treat for the Australian fans. They turn up in huge numbers every year, John, but until this year, they haven't had one of their own to cheer about.
Not for a very long time, and the last time an Australian driver got any points, to my memory, was Alan Jones, and that was back in 1980 when Alan was in his World Championship year.
That's right, Alan Jones winning the title back in 1980, took 12 wins in his career, racing between 1975 and 1981, and then making some returns in 83, 85, and the last time he raced was in 1986. But Mark Webber's the man now, and he knows it.
Well, I wonder who'll be in the front page of the Melbourne Age in the morning. I suspect it might be Michael Schumacher, but I suspect there will be a parallel photograph of this man, Mark Webber.
A glory day indeed for Melbourne and for Australia, as Mark Webber takes 2 points on his debut with Minardi, and with an Australian running that team. It is based in the UK nowadays, but a split between the UK and Italy. A lot of people working in the UK, but also in Faenza in Italy. A combination, Paul Stoddart bringing the whole thing together, and what a delight for him.
Ben, you're looking at this crowd, you'd think you're at Monza. The number of Ferrari flags on the circuit, in fact, it just is so reminiscent of what we've seen at Monza.